Well, everybody's favorite internet dweeb, Tony Khan, walked into a hornet's nest on Twitter and in the podcast world last week, as he made some absolutely ridiculous tweets. You've heard about him a million times, so we're not going to recover it here, but it's certainly worth jumping in and showing some of the hot takes here. Essentially, Tony Khan arguing over the validity of Hook's earned title shot in the world of fake, phony kayfabe wrestling versus Jinder Mahal's value as earning a title shot in the fake, phony world of professional wrestling. And oh boy, did everybody just bite his head off. USA Network got in on the action in this. Everybody got involved and piled on poor Tony Khan. Here's a look at some of the podcast clips that were prominent this week, taking a poke at good old Tony Khan.
Somebody around him needs to say, Tony, you need to take a vacation for a couple weeks. You need to goddamn start on decaf or maybe get a full physical examination, sleep for 8 hours, do something, calm the fuck down, and reevaluate your priorities of what's going on. And don't rely on cage match instead of the cold, hard facts of the ratings of the programs, and don't rely on jousting with people on Twitter when you've got a serious issue of absolutely no healthy fucking main event level individual star on your roster that people aren't sick to fucking death of. Start with that.
If Tony Khan were a television character that was saying some of this stuff, you could at least get away with the fact that it's a television character and not he's on Twitter and like this is actually bothering him. Because when the CEO of a company is tweeting about wins and losses, it's like, what are we doing here, pal? We're telling stories. That's all we're doing.
I guess. Or what do you think is going through Tony Khan's mind? If I put this tweet out, it's going to get a lot of clicks. It's going to keep AEW's name out there. I'm advertising AEW, but he's talking like a straight up, just a fan who buys a ticket.
So I don't know where Tony's saying online outrage, where I was only saying online praise. So he's made that up to himself.
The online rage he's talking about
is in his head.
Was Jinder Mahal and Seth. Where's the rage about that, right? Is that what he's talking about?
Well, no, it's both things. So he's talking about there's no rage for Jinder Mahal and Seth, but there is made-up online rage in his own mind with Hook versus Samoa Joe, which there isn't online rage. There's online praise for that, as far as I can tell.
Again, I'm at a loss for words here. Flabbergasted. I'm going to go back to my other word that I used. I don't get it, and I don't think the fans get it either. That's why that AEW is struggling right now.
I'm sure Tony thinks of it, hey, I'm getting attention. I'm promoting the show. People look at the engagement rates. Look how many people saw the tweet. Look how many people were talking about the tweet. In an analytical brain that he has, perhaps that's his goal. But the perception then surrounding him when he does stuff like that, it does not give off big boss energy, right? It gives off petty kid. I mean, Tony and I aren't too far apart in age, and I would never fix my fingers to type such a ridiculous thing, touting somebody's record in a company that I own, and I am the head of creative, and I created the record. That's my record. I created it.
Exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. It makes no sense. It's the stupidest thing ever. You know what? I hate using the term mark. You know what I mean? But this seemed like someone who's definitely, like you say, not thinking from a boss mentality, thinking about what's going on social media and what people are saying. One thing about this business, one thing about this life, especially the life that we're living in, this time that we're living in right now, no matter who you are, I don't care if you're Tony Khan, a billionaire, or the guy working at McDonald's. If you got a Twitter account, you're going to get some hate from somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And if that's what you're living by, if that's what you're running your company by, you got a serious, serious problem.
Tell me your opinion on that.
When is the veil going to lift? Like, how much longer do these Stan fans for that company how much more can they tolerate before they have to say, this guy is going to ruin our attempt to have a number 2 promotion because of his inability to grasp simple concepts? Like,
now you go and bring Jinder into the equation. Now you're acting like a mark who is bothered by what he is reading on social media. You need to be above that. You need to be more professional than that. You need to lead by example. You don't need to open up your entire company to a whirlwind of tweets about this. Did I see some AEW diehards last night on social media going, "Go, Tony, go. You're our God. Yes, Tony, we love you." Yes, there was a spattering of it. For the most part, all he did was put AEW and himself in a negative spotlight last night by the tweets.
What
Could you
about
imagine-
having
Could you imagine the cops breaking into Tony's place as he's tweeting, guns drawn? "Sir, put the phone down."
I think, and this is completely a public service announcement. I think we might be at that point where somebody needs to
Tommy,
go in there and be like,
"This is where you come in, Tommy."
So I was editing up some videos, and I've been using this graphic of Tony Khan in a lot of things lately. Let me put that right here. And my girlfriend was asking why I keep doing that. Why do I keep making that guy look like that? Who is that guy? And so I had to, how do you explain in so many words that somebody who doesn't watch or know anything about wrestling, who Tony Khan is and why I would draw his eyes to look like that? Look, man, this guy needs to put his Twitter down. It's time. And it's not even a pile-on thing. It's starting to become a problem with him as a owner, as a businessman, as the forward-facing head of AEW. Here's the thing. He's friends with Dana White, and he's has said in the past that he considers Dana White an inspiration to him, a mentor, as you will. And that's what I think he's doing here. I think the old school internet chat room fucking boards on the dark web where all the deepest, darkest nerds go to like jerk off over pictures of wrestling and shit. That Tony Khan was always that guy as a kid, right? He was always in the message boards. And that guy now owns a giant company and he has a giant platform and he considers himself more Dana White, but he's coming off like his old mark-ass internet nerd. And that's what he's doing. He thinks by being outspoken and being, confrontational and being not afraid to call shit out and stuff like that, he's sounding like a mark is what he's doing. Because first of all, he's calling out kayfabe. This is not even real stuff. Who cares about how many people just want to watch Hook wrestle Samoa Joe. Nobody gives a shit how many matches Hook won. Nobody cares. Nobody's even talking about it. And then in Jinder, nobody cares about that either. Nobody's complaining. Who cares? And if they are complaining, fuck them. Jinder's cool. Fine. He's a fine little... It's fine. Give Seth a match. It's a good little story for Monday Night Raw. Not everything needs to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the main event of Monday Night Raw every single week. Sometimes you got to wait until you get there. Let's give Seth Rollins a win over a former champion who happened to pick up a little bit of heat last week in his angle with The Rock. So why not use that momentum to give Seth Rollins more steam and momentum. You see what I'm saying? It's good booking, but it's also kayfabe. It's not even real. And why are you talking about the other company when you run this company? It has nothing to do with either one. You're not Dana White. You're not defending Hook. You don't sound smart. You're not dunking on anybody. You sound like a dweeb. You sound like a nerd. You sound like a mark. And look, I want AEW to win. All right? I'm not trying to pile on Tony Khan either. I wish if he was in the sound of my voice, and maybe I'll clip this out and put it as a short, and it'll get a couple thousand views, and maybe he'll see it and hear about it and shut the fuck up. Because it's getting to be too much, man. You're ruining. Now you are a negative to your own company. Somebody like a Chris Jericho or somebody with enough credibility that he's going to listen to, that's close to him in his inner circle, needs to pull him aside and say, bro, you need to take a time out for a little bit. Step away completely. You know, I did a video on how to fix AEW a month or two ago. And maybe I'll link that here at the end cap or whatever. And I talked about, you know, Tony needs to kind of step away from the public spotlight for a little bit and have a lot of smart people around him to help, you know, get the TV back up to a watchable product. I think Tony, he just needs to step away. He needs to make people forget about him. Take a couple years off. And when he comes back, he can be in more of a professional manner. Media scrums and press conferences. He needs to stay the fuck off Twitter for the absolute certain. At a minimum. Delete the fucking Twitter app. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to look fucking trending or hire a social media team to figure out who on AEW is trending, what in wrestling is trending, what you need to be concerned about and what you don't need to be concerned about. Vince McMahon isn't out there on Twitter commenting on every fucking stupid little thing. He never did. He never gave a shit. Vince was oblivious to the entire wrestling business. I'm not saying to that extent you need to be. Triple H. Who's Triple H? Who does he out there? Who's he out there bashing constantly? What storylines is he jumping in to defend and win-loss records and comparing to other companies? And he doesn't. Stop that. Stop it. You're being a douchebag. You sound dumb. You're not dunking on anybody. You're not. It's bad. And here I am. Look, I'm just roasting them. Piling on. I catch myself saying it. I'm just saying, shut up. You're stupid. It's getting to that point, though, is it not? I mean, that's why we're all saying it. Like, I love a good little Twitter beef and exchange, just like everybody else. You know, this kind of stuff's fun. It's amusing. It gives us something to talk about in the wrestling community. But Tony's getting to the point where he's embarrassing himself. He's not just, it's not, oh, you're getting involved in these exchanges. You sound not intelligent. I don't know how else to say it without repeating you're a stupid mark over and over and over. And look, I'm a mark. I might even be a stupid, I don't think I'm a stupid mark, but I'm a mark. I mean, it's not inherently a derogatory term. But I think when you're the head of a wrestling company, the last thing you want to have everybody in the wrestling business be calling you is a stupid mark. That's bad. That makes people not respect your company. That makes wrestlers not respect you. People see you as a fucking an open checkbook and not a boss, not a leader. People aren't excited to jump on your team. People aren't excited to represent your team. It's embarrassing to the whole company. Hook's not going to want to go out there and get involved in that mess. You think Hook's going to jump to his boss's aid and be like, yo, fuck you, Jinder? No, he's probably hiding under a fucking rock eating a bag of potato chips. Like, why are you talking about me, bro? Shut up. Shut up. I don't know. It's just not a good look. That's what it's come down to. And I can't believe that he's not self-aware of this or nobody's told him this. How is he not self-aware? He reads every goddamn thing on the internet. He's offended by every little negative tweet that somebody says. He finds it and it pisses him off and he responds to it and he drinks another cup of coffee and whatever, and he gets all angered about it, and he replies. Stop doing that. First of all, it's the internet. Who cares? People say stupid shit all the time. I get stupid shit in my comments, and sometimes it's fun to play back. But, like, you can't let it ruin your day, and sometimes it does. Look, we're all human. People say mean, hurtful shit on the internet. I get that, too. And this is his company. This is his baby. This is his pride. This is his money, his ego. I just can't believe he's not self-aware enough to understand how bad all of this makes him look and makes the company look. And I don't think he is. I think he feels like he's winning. So I don't know if he's in like an echo chamber bubble. He's got yes men around him that go, oh, you really got him good, boss. Good job. Good tweet. I don't know if he's filtering out like... clearly he reads all the bad tweets, so obviously he's got to read the ones that say, shut the fuck up. You're embarrassing yourself. Does he not hear every single one of those people I just played? Bully Ray, Eric Bischoff, Booker T. Shut up. They're all saying it. Chris needs to pull him aside. Brian Danielson needs to pull him aside. Will Washington, the Fightful YouTube podcast guy, pull him aside and say, boss, take his phone, time out, delete his app. Somebody secretly, his secretary, accidentally delete the Twitter app off of his phone. Oops. Change the password. Lock him out of it. Do that. Somebody, is there hackers? Is there a hacker within the sound of my voice that can hack into Tony Khan's account? Is this illegal for me to call for the for hacking? Hypothetically, if somebody were to hack into Tony Khan's account and like just change his password, just lock the motherfucker out of it, delete it. I mean, oops. The world would be a better place for it. In that hypothetical world that I have nothing to say or do about. I live in the real world where Tony Khan has a Twitter account and he's making an ass of himself. That's just my opinion and everybody else's opinion. I'd love to hear the counter argument. People that are like, no, Tony's doing great. He needs more of this. I love this shit. A little bit of confrontation ain't bad. People that are like, no, I just like to, it's fun to watch, you know, these people interact and to like beef and argue and stuff. Yeah, that's fun. But there becomes a point where, you know, you're embarrassing yourself. Somebody down in my comments, they say something stupid. Sometimes I'll reply. Sometimes I won't. And if I reply, I'm not going to get into like a big, long, like, bitch session about it. At some point that becomes embarrassing, right? Like, why are you just nitpicking with some fucking rando on the internet? It's not important. It's not. And if it's not important for me, a YouTuber, how is it so important for a billionaire that runs a huge company like AEW, and now on the side he's got his fucking Fulham football, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and his little numbers counting bean counter company that he has, and everything else that he does. I think he's got a fucking strip club, got a couple hookers out on the street, running arms, all his little side hustles that he does. Hypothetical world. Where does he find the time to worry about some fucking dipshit's tweet about fucking Hook's win-loss record? Why? Don't you have like t-shirt logos to approve or like booking meetings to like make your storylines better or numbers to count? I don't know, man. I'll leave it there because all I'm doing, I mean, I can hear myself just piling on, burying the guy, just insulting him. But that's where we're at. There's no other conversation to be had. Shut the fuck up. There's no other take on this, folks. That's why everybody's doing it. That's why it's the pile on. There's no defense of Tony. Well, actually, no, not in this case. Not in this case. I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down in those comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Do you think Tony Khan is embarrassing? Does he need to step away from the public spotlight? Are you one of the people that do agree with Tony Khan? You think, shit, I like this. This is my guy, Tony Khan, out there fighting the good fight. I'd love to hear from you. I'm not going to bite your head off. I want to hear your take. I want to hear your point of view and why you think that, feel that way. And we all got our voices. This is just mine. Peace, love, and pizza. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Oh, yeah. Thanks for checking out the video. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.